is up, shitheads? JJ back here from Run Pure Bets with another free pick for you. This time it's going to be in college football for Friday, December the 31st. Game's going to be played between the Alabama Crimson Tide and Cincinnati Bearcats. This is the Cotton Bowl Classic. Current betting spread is Alabama minus 13.5. Total 57. All right, so I lost Oregon plus 7 from the Alamo Bowl. And I must admit, that was not how I saw it playing out. I mean, if you told me Oregon scored 32, I'd have thought they won outright. Just really poor tackling on their end all game long. And look, credit to Oklahoma on their offense. Caleb Williams looked phenomenal. Despite all that, it was still a late drive away from an actual push. But with that said, we push onward. If it's any substance to anybody, I do feel a little better now. Maybe my voice sounds a little better than I did earlier in the week. I was also able to whack off without needing a Good Housekeeping magazine. I know, impressive stuff. I'll likely sign autographs after the video, so hold on for that. Now I'll have a video on both these BCS games, so if you're watching this one, just peek the link at the end to see the other video, or don't and go fist yourself. Maybe I guess that's a bit too aggressive, but watching one of these BCS vids without the other is some severe FOMO. All right, look, let's talk on this game. So, favorite look in this one, Alabama team total under 35.5. I got this minus 114 FanDuel in New Jersey. Let me start by saying though that the narrative better in me wants to think Saban does everything in his power to run the score up against this Bearcats team. Saban, who recruits at an elite level and coaches at an elite level, you would think would want to remind a non-Power 5 team like Cincinnati, who the real big dog is in college football. With that said, though, from a numbers angle, this is a very, very juicy spot to go under Bama's team total here at 35.5. I mean, isn't it funny how one game kind of changes everything? Georgia was the cream of the crop in the SEC this year, and Bama won 4 SEC games by 7 points or less. But Bama rolls Georgia in the championship or SEC championship, and now the market's back to thinking Alabama is now the cream of the crop in the SEC again. Here's what I know. I know this is a down Bama team per their normal standards. The lack of plethora of explosive weapons on Alabama that they usually have in there, and their defense just isn't as good as it's been in years past. Now, this is still an elite team filled with 5-star athletes. They're just not as elite as we're accustomed to seeing from this Crimson Tide team. I'm as critical as anybody against non-Power 5 teams getting into the BCS, but Cincy deserves a ton of credit. These past 2 seasons for Cincy have been sensational. They even looked really good in a Georgia loss last year in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and many of the same names this season. And this team didn't disappoint again coming in. Luke Fickell's done a tremendous job with this bunch, and it won't be long before he's coaching a non-Power 5 school. The Cincy team's filled with experienced veterans and a defense as disciplined as exists in D1 now. Since he's given up more than 4 touchdowns in a game just one time since early 2019, and that was September 7th against Ohio State in a 42-0 loss. Many of the same parts from that 2019 team are here in 2021. That season ended 11-3, so even that was a really good year for Cincinnati. Led by Desmond Ridder, this team never appears rattled and appears to play some of their best ball when it matters most. This group literally has nothing to lose coming into this game, and I expect Fickell to have his guys ready to go. John Mechie missing for Bama is a pretty big deal in my opinion. Jamison Williams, who is an absolute stud at wide receiver, but now it's one less 5-star recruit for Cincy to worry about offensively. Speaking of studs, Cincy has some stud defensive backs that will have the opportunity to help out their draft stock in this game as well. Let's be honest, though. The players who pile up stats in these games are often the ones that get all the credit, but not really what the game comes down to. It's all about the trenches. I expect Cincy's O-line and D-line to hold up here, keep chains moving on offense, make things tough for Bama on defense. Cincy's had 37 sacks this year, I believe, and Bama's going to have to keep Bryce Young upright. Speaking of Bryce Young, he's a stud, but this Cincy defense has been bend don't break for 2+ years now, and even if you're Saban and Bama with the BCS ship looming with a win, is Bama really looking to make a dominant statement in this game if they get out to a big lead? I mean, maybe, but based on the narrative I mentioned earlier, but there's no style points needed here. Win and you're in the championship game. So yes, I really like Cincy to keep Bama under 5+ touchdowns here in this spot. So I'm on the Bama team total under 35.5. Got that minus 114 FanDuel in New Jersey. May the odds be ever in our favor. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Create some fake accounts more. Thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, I hope you shit your pants while sleeping tonight. As always, drop comments below your thoughts on the vid. Also, let me know who you like in this spot, and be sure to check out the other BCS vid on UGA Michigan. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on Run Pure Sports YouTube for the NFL Print Factory, where we'll run through all the NFL games, talking betting and DFS. Then I'll have more NFL content for you guys Sunday morning for Run Pure Bets and Run Pure Sports. As always, though, be sure to gamble responsibly, folks. Stay safe and run pure.